What's going down, Niners faithful? Welcome back to another video. It's an RJ49. So I'm currently watching this Alabama and Clemson game before we get into the real video. And Clemson's up 31-16, and I'm very, very surprised because I did not expect Clemson to come in here on the way they did, but I don't know. I thought about covering this game and doing a post-game video, but it'll definitely be like 11:30, 12 before this game's over. So I don't know if I'll be end up wanting to do it because I have school tomorrow. And I'll probably be asleep or in bed. But anyways, this video I'm going to give my top 5 free agents the 49ers should go out and pursue as hard as they can in the offseason. Now, I'm not saying the 49ers need to go out and get every single one of them, every single 5 players I have on my list, but I'm saying at least maybe 2 or 3 of them I'd love the 49ers to get. And I believe a few of them could have a good shot at being signed by the Niners. But anyways, I'm just going to get straight into it. So number 1 on my list is Antonio Brown. I've made videos about this. They've got a lot of views, all thanks to you guys, and I gave my thoughts on it. But I think if we go out and get an Antonio Brown, right, the Steelers are expected, it doesn't mean they will, but they're expected to go out and trade Antonio Brown before March. So that's good news for the 49ers, but not only for the 49ers, multiple other teams that could possibly be interested in him. So Antonio Brown, he's 30. He's never had really any major injuries. But a lot of people can say he's a cancer to a football team. I don't really know about that because this is the thing. He's mad because Ben Roethlisberger and Mike Tomlin have such a good bond that it's like hard to break. And sometimes when say Antonio Brown runs the wrong route or something, or Ben Roethlisberger throws a pass, Mike Tomlin and Ben Roethlisberger will kind of team up in a way. This is my vision of it, and kind of like say it was Antonio Brown's fault, and Antonio Brown doesn't like that, and that's why I think that he doesn't want to be in Pittsburgh. He's shown interest for the 49ers, and I think it'd be a perfect pickup. So that's Antonio Brown at the number 1 spot. I think he should be number 1 on our list in free agency to go out and get. Number 2, this is also another receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. Now, obviously, we won't be able to get Odell and Antonio Brown. This is like one or the other. But Odell Beckham Jr., the Giants could be listening to trade offers in the offseason for Odell Beckham Jr. What are the chances that, they go out and trade him? Probably slim, but there's always a shot. And if the Niners throw out a good deal to the Giants, I feel like they'll take it. So, Odell Beckham Jr., yes, he's broke his leg or his foot or fractured his foot back in the 2017 season, but he's still Odell Beckham Jr. That really hasn't slowed him down at all. So Odell Beckham Jr. could come in, probably be more cheaper and more affordable than Antonio Brown, but we still have to offer a lot for Odell Beckham Jr. So Odell Beckham Jr. comes in at the 2 spot of my top 5 free agents the 49ers should go out and get this offseason. Number 3, this is a big one too, and this could help our defense dramatically. Earl Thomas. I also made a video about that, and he'd be a perfect fit. He's staying in the West. He gets to face his former team that he hates in the Seattle Seahawks. And he's coming back, working with Robert Saleh, who's the defense quality control of the Seattle Seahawks back in 2013, and I believe a few more seasons after that. So he's reuniting with Robert Saleh. A lot of players on the Seattle Seahawks always talk high of Robert Saleh. And not only that, he's teaming up with his former LOB teammate, Richard Sherman. So I feel like we have a good shot at going out and getting Earl Thomas. And if we do, that's going to help our secondary, and it's going to make our defense even more better. So Earl Thomas comes in at the number 3 position of my top 5 free agents. So number 4, I've thought about this one, and it doesn't really seem that bad. The 49ers should go out and try to get DeMarcus Lawrence. He's a free agent after the season. He's on his last year of his contract. Will the Cowboys re-sign him? Probably. He's a top-notch pass rusher in this game, and I can definitely see the Cowboys re-signing him. But if the Niners go out and throw him a lot of money, and the Bay Area, a lot of players would like to come to the Bay Area. It's just the Bay Area. That's summarized is the Bay Area. You guys know how the Bay Area is. Nice weather, and a lot of people love it in Santa Clara and the Niners Bay. So DeMarcus Lawrence, we need a pass rusher. We are in desperate need of a pass rusher. Yes, Cassius Marsh isn't terrible, but he's average at best. And he's not one of those premier pass rushers the 49ers really need, or the 49ers really could use or want. DeMarcus Lawrence will instantly come to the San Francisco 49ers organization and tear it up. He's tore it up with Dallas. Yes, Dallas will probably re-sign him, but if the 49ers can go out and try to persuade DeMarcus Lawrence in coming to the Niners, so be it. We have our pass rusher, and we could use our number 2 pick on a different guy, other than like Josh Allen, who we'll probably get if we don't end up signing a pass rusher. Greedy Williams, we could go out and get. We could use another defensive back help. So DeMarcus Lawrence comes out at the number 4 spot, in which would be a good pickup, like an amazing pickup, because for one, our defensive line struggles. Solomon Thomas has not been what the Niners thought to be. He's definitely playing like he's a 5th-round draft pick. DeForest Buckner is an absolute animal. That's our best defensive lineman. Eric Armstead, hit or miss, not really good. But like people like DJ Jones and Julian Taylor, I could see getting playing time next year at the defensive tackle position. So we'll see how that pans out. But DeMarcus Lawrence comes in at number 4 on my list. This is a major one. Minnesota Vikings linebacker Anthony Barr. The Niners could use another linebacker. Fred Warner is an absolute animal. Fred Warner will definitely start next year. He's been, for one, he's not injured prone like Reuben was. And for one, he's not just a complete idiot like Reuben Foster was. I feel like if we can go out and get Anthony Barr, it could fill one of our other needs, and our defense could be stellar in an instant. Anthony Barr, the 49ers could really go out and get him, because right now the 49ers linebacker core for next season is looking like it's going to be Fred Warner and Elijah Lee starting at middle linebackers. I'm very impressed with Elijah Lee. I think he's a very talented football player. I think he reads plays good. His pass coverage isn't that bad. But if you pair Anthony Barr with Fred Warner, that's a force to be reckoned with. So Anthony Barr, DeMarcus Lawrence, Earl Thomas, Odell Beckham Jr., and Antonio Brown would be my top 5 free agents that the 49ers should pursue. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not saying the 49ers will get every single one of those guys, but at the end of the day, if the 49ers can bring in at least 2 or 3 of them, and they're affordable, and we can afford them, so be it. Because if this is out of those 5 players, this is who I really, really want. I really, really want Antonio Brown over Odell Beckham Jr., okay? Now, you guys think I'm crazy, but Antonio Brown is 30. Odell Beckham Jr. is, 4 years younger than him? I get that. I get that part. But Antonio Brown is playing like he's a second-year guy, stud. And he's playing like that year in and year out. Could you imagine Antonio Brown in Kyle Shanahan's offense? That would be killer. So, Antonio Brown, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Earl Thomas would be my top 3 guys to go out and try and get. Now, I can work with Elijah Lee and Fred Warner. Fred Warner has impressed me. Out of BYU, he's impressed me a lot. He was a rookie this season and just tore it up. I was very impressed by Fred Warner, and I love that dude to death. He's an absolute animal. Hits hard, hits the proper way linebackers should hit. Can fill the gaps perfectly. He's perfect. He's perfect in this 49ers defensive scheme. Elijah Lee, he was a backup. I mean, we could definitely use another. Fred Warner's he's good enough in this NFL to be starting somewhere, and that's why he's starting on the 49ers. He's good enough to be a starting linebacker. So, Fred Warner, and maybe Anthony Barr, that'd be stellar. But my top 3, like I said, I didn't say my third one. I said DeMarcus Lawrence, Antonio Brown, and Anthony Barr. I'd pick Anthony Barr to be my third one. No, actually, sorry, not Anthony Barr. Not Anthony Barr. That's not what I was getting at. I'm sorry. Earl Thomas, I'd rather have than Anthony Barr because, like I said, I can deal with Elijah Lee playing, I believe, at the Mike linebacker position. Well, maybe the will. I think he's at the will linebacker position. So I can deal with that. He's not that bad, and he's definitely impressed me on defense this season. But Fred Warner, good enough to be starter. So I say Elijah Lee is decent. Fred Warner is outstanding. Linebacker, we can work with the linebackers. They can get better. But if we can add DeMarcus Lawrence and Earl Thomas to our defense, we have just like we literally would have Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, and DeMarcus Lawrence literally mentoring our defense. That's three humongous veterans that are very talented in this league and that have been Pro Bowlers and will be definitely going to more Pro Bowls in the future. So those are my top three guys: Antonio Brown, Earl Thomas, and DeMarcus Lawrence. We need a pass rusher. DeMarcus Lawrence could fill that role. We could use another defensive back. Earl Thomas can fill that role. And we could definitely use another wide receiver, considering that Pierre Garcon will probably be released. So that's why I said we go out and get Antonio Brown. But I would not be mad if we go out and get Odell Beckham Jr. That's literally just as good. And I'd be very content with that because Odell and Antonio Brown are like the two top receivers in this league aside from like DeAndre Hopkins. But I'd be very content with Odell Beckham Jr. I'd be very content with Antonio Brown. But I'd say Antonio Brown over Odell Beckham Jr. But other than that, it's going to wrap up the video. Those are my top 5 free agents I think the 49ers should try to pursue and try to at least bring in 2 or 3 of them and try to make this defense and this offense, try to build one more piece around Jimmy Garoppolo, whether that's being Antonio Brown or Odell, and build that defense up because we could definitely use a pass rusher. DeMarcus Lawrence would fill that role. And like I said, Earl Thomas would fill our secondary needs. So that's my top 5 free agents I think the 49ers should pursue and at least bring in 2 of them, maybe 3 if we can afford it. That's going to wrap up the video. Let me know what other free agents you guys want the Niners to bring in, and tell me why. Is there any other free agents out there on defense or offense that you would like the 49ers to bring in or even try to pursue? Let me know in the comments down below. With that being said, I'm going to get back to watching this Bama and Clemson game. It's looking lopsided on Clemson. Or it's looking lopsided right now. It's Clemson all over. But I'm going to get back to watching this game. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. With that being said, it's Niners J49. And as always, go Niners.